Okay,
You were recording.
Okay. Hi, Mom League. I have Evi Cardenas here. We are going to be talking about trials and overcoming those hardships and how to keep going. So go ahead, Evi, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
So I know you've been, life is hard. Everybody gets stuff thrown at us. You want to kind of we'll get into it, and you start us, however long ago you want to start. Tell us about some of the things you've struggled with.
The main focus of things that I've overcome would be addiction, like addiction to streets, addiction to the money, addiction to the fast life, and to running from everything that I never wanted to face. So, and it all started super young. I was only 13 when I got into street gangs and to the drugs and the partying lifestyle.
How long did you keep doing that?
I have been clean for 6 years now.
Awesome.
6.5. Yeah. In June will be 7.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is it that made you want to stop that lifestyle?
Well, going to prison and losing my dad. That was my my final, this is it type thing.
Kind of a wake-up call.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was. I refused to lose anybody else while, being selfish and not being able to say my piece and say goodbye. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine how hard that was. So let's kind of go into that. So you had this, and we have rocky childhoods, and it's hard to get over things. So what was the breaking point that you really were like, no more? I mean, can you share with us, if you don't mind, what made you want to just like, what was that wake up call, that light switch?
That's what it was. It was losing my dad and them the prison refusing to give me a furlough to be able to say my goodbyes and to participate in his like farewell ceremonies and things like that. That was it. It was that.
So how long after that happened did you start getting things on the track to get out of prison?
So I was in a program there, the residential treatment facility that's there. And I had gotten kicked out twice, just because I wasn't ready. Like, and I knew going into prison, I already knew I was coming out to the same thing. Like it wouldn't have mattered. But once all that had happened, that was a breakdown. It was a mental breakdown. It was an emotional breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was all bad all the way around. And then I finally went to my therapist and was like, dude, what do I need to do? Like at this point, I'll do anything. So then we got me focused into doing EMDR, nice. Which is an amazing therapy that I absolutely love and stand by. Mm-hmm. I focused really, really hard on my MRT, which I'm a huge advocate for, because I genuinely believe that when you start to look inward and you really start putting things on paper, it helps to be able to work through it, because for the most part, it's all in your brain. So you don't have anything really to go on until you start, attacking it piece by piece. Mm-hmm. And MRT breaks it down from birth to, your current situation.
What was the hardest part of healing and dealing with all that stuff?
I'd be lying if I said I've dealt with it already, because I haven't. It's most definitely not something that I have visited yet. I still haven't gone to the cemetery. I mean, I have seen his ashes, and that's been okay. I haven't gone to our family cemetery. I've gone to the military cemetery where part of his ashes are buried. So I've been able to go there and sit there and kind of talk to him. But we have our family plot, and I haven't been able to go there because that's where everybody's at, Mm-hmm. And so it's hard. I can't, how can I say it? Like, if I'm isolated, I can't really focus on it. Going to the military cemetery, to the veteran cemetery has been easier, because I still feel like I'm surrounded, by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But The family cemetery is a little bit more private. So he's just split up amongst a couple different places. And the only one that I've really been able to go to is the veterans one, because he's not in somewhere that's really personal, you know?
Right.
It's more of a public type setting.
Hmm.
So it just, I don't know. Yeah, I most definitely haven't dealt with that yet. It makes it easier to be able to go to the veteran cemetery to talk to him a little bit,
Hmm.
but it's not something that I've fully dealt with. Like there's his bedroom's still closed up, still can't go there to like go through his things, go through pictures, nothing like that. So it's hard.
Yeah, for
But
sure. Can I ask you, kind of going back a little bit, when you're dealing with some of those therapies and stuff, when you were putting stuff to paper, what was the hardest thing that you faced about yourself?
um forgiving myself for sure is one of the hardest, because you always hold on to that guilt and that shame of, well, when when certain people are alive, or when you have them in your life, like you don't show them the proper, the proper way to love them, like that you love them, or you're just not grateful for their presence, you take them for granted. And
Mm.
then when they're gone, like, so. And for the most part in my addiction, I was a very selfish person, super selfish. Like it was all about me. I had to have everything all the time. And so it's kind of switched my love language a little bit to now, like, if I'm going to love somebody or love to do something, then I'm going to do it wholeheartedly. I'm not going to, like, it, there's no more selfishness.
That's awesome.
So it's definitely not easy, because a lot of the times you still want that instant gratification. You still want, like, you want what you want, period, and so you have to kind of figure out what it is that fits.
Sure. Can I ask, so Odyssey House, for people who are not in Utah and don't know what that is, tell us about that and your mission helping others.
Oh man, I love my job. It's stressful, like, and it sucks sometimes, because you, like, you see these people come in so broken, and coming from addiction, like I see myself in a lot of those clients, in a lot of our clients. So I see like the selfish behaviors, I see the manipulation, I see the where they call their families and they're like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it's like, no, you don't. We provide everything that you need, so I see me in that, because that was me.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, like, I've seen tremendous growth, and that's probably one of the biggest rewards, is seeing people come in and like really, really break down and work their program and leave successfully. And that's the most rewarding, like the small wins, it's the small steps that we praise. And it's just the trying, because a lot of the times people will really, really want it,
Mm-hmm.
but don't know how to start.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's totally, I've dealt with some big traumas and abuse in my life. And you just, like you said, I love that word, overwhelm. It's a lot. And
it
you get
is.
it, and then you get in your own head, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
where do I even start? So I love
Yep.
that you're doing that for other people. Do you feel like you kind of live through them and you kind of deal with your own stuff in your head as you're helping others?
To an extent. A lot of the times I'll make a joke, and I'm like, if I have to help you guys fix your shit, I don't have to focus on mine, so we're good, so. And it there's like, especially when I'm going through certain hardships or whatever, like I'll overwork, so I'll like pick up extra shifts, and I'll work like 16 hours a day, 4 days a week. And finally my boss is like, dude, you're taking days off, like it's too much. Because it gets mentally taxing, for
Mhm.
sure. Like there've been a couple times where I've come home in tears, because like either someone has left, or like I couldn't help figure something out for somebody. So it's definitely a feeling of defeat and like failures. And the big thing about me is that I'm an overthinker. So if I think something's wrong, i'm gonna like I'm gonna pick it apart and like create something bigger that's like not even freaking there. Like it's just, I'm an overthinker, I'm an overanalyzer, like it sucks. And then you create bonds with people that can't really um you can't really hold on to them, because as soon as they're out of the program, like, they're on to bigger and better things. And being in the position that I'm in with them, I'm not allowed to have outside contact with them when they leave because of the power differential, because I was staff and they were a client. So it's hard when you get attached to people and then you see them leave and it's like you can't even call and check up on them. It's a little difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. What do you think? I want to kind of celebrate you for a moment because you recently got married, and like you said,
No,
moving
no,
onward and upward.
not fully married, no.
Oh,
But
okay. But you're with him, right?
he's right here. He's
But tell us about that journey, because to love somebody else, giving yourself and letting go of that selfishness, how has that changed your outlook on life and how you love others and how you let others love you?
that is definitely a conversation that him and I have often. What I have learned is that you don't give up on the people that you love. Like, no matter what difficulties you go through, like, as long as you're both willing to, like, work through them and fight and to do whatever it takes to, to fix whatever it is that's broken, then there's really nothing that's impossible. And, I'd be lying if I said we had, like, the perfect, little fairy tale, because we don't. We're both addicts in recovery, and we both come from a similar lifestyle, and so we have to work at things a little extra. But when you love somebody, there's nothing you're not willing to do to to make it work with them. So, and he's good to me, so I'm super grateful for him.
That makes me so happy for you. And
Yeah.
I love hearing the change. I can hear the genuine tone in your voice as you talk, and just the happiness, the glow and stuff. I've known you for a little while, and
Yeah.
when you were first working out at the car place, you were just running yourself ragged and trying. I could tell that you weren't, like, I could see in your eyes, you just weren't alive yet.
No, that was actually my first job getting out of prison in 2019. And in fact, I started there February 2020 because I was in the halfway house for 8 months. And that was like a stepping stone job. And I reached manager position and I had my own crew, but like, that's not something that was like a career for me. That's not something that I was like, oh yeah, like, this is it, So it's taken a little while, but yeah, I thoroughly love my job. I'm super grateful for, like, all my coworkers, and even the clients. Like, we'll do fun stuff from, like, I'll get permission to, like, bring in snacks from and stuff, and on weekends we'll chill and we'll watch movies and eat popcorn or candy, or and a couple weeks ago I just they were all like, they all did really good in groups and stuff, so I bought stuff for root beer floats. And then, like, later that night, they all signed a card for me, and they were like, dude, like, you're a big part of our recovery. Like, we love you. We're so grateful for you. And I had to close the office door because, of course, I was a little sissy and started crying and got in my feelings. But it's just, I don't know. It's definitely helped me in my recovery for sure.
Right. Yeah. If there was one thing that you would say to maybe somebody going through trials or addiction recovery, or just, anything you could tell them, what would you say right now?
Ask for help. Ask for help. Reach out. Like, no one can do life alone. Like, no one can do life alone. There's not, like, it takes, especially if you're in recovery, it takes a village. Like, it literally does. Like, I have a handful of people that, like, if I'm struggling with one thing or another, I can call, like, that's one of my hardest things, is asking for help. So ask for help for sure. Like, don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid, especially when it comes to fighting for your life in addiction, because it sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, we're going to wrap up soon. I just want to know, is there anything that you're watching, reading, any cool restaurants that you're into right now?
No, so Brian and I have recently gotten into like the virtual reality games and stuff. Like, so we went, what is it called? All-Star Bowling? Yeah, the All-Star Bowling. And there's like this, it's gonna sound so dumb. There's like this little virtual reality roller coaster.
Yeah.
We've gone on it like 5 times. We love it in the last week. And so we've gotten back to like going on our little dates on Friday nights and like going to the movies. Like in a little while, we're gonna go see the new movie Cursed, which I'm terrified for, but he promised he wouldn't fall asleep this time. So there's that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we're just getting back into like going to the movies and enjoying each other. So
Awesome. Well, I'm
yeah.
glad you're taking that time to build your bond and your foundation and getting stronger.
Sure.
So, all right. Well, I will let you go. And then, Mom League, just remember, we will be here doing our interviews, and watch us on YouTube and Facebook. And together we rise up. See you later, Evi.
Okay, bye.
Okay.